But we begin with breaking news tonight from North Houston. The Houston Fire Department has been called out to a fire at Gallery Furniture, the main location of I-45 North.
A second alarm has been called, and you can see the flames just shooting up there, right there on your screen. Jim McIngvale, the store's owner, is on the phone with us right now. Mattress Mac, we are so sorry to see this. Do you know what's going on or what caused this?
No, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what caused it. We just know that the Houston Fire Department got out here quickly, and they're, getting it under control.
Are you at the store right now, sir, on the premises?
Yeah, I sure am.
Have you had any reports of injuries?
No injuries.
Okay.
How many people were in your store? Do you have any idea when this happened?
Well, the fire is pretty much contained in the warehouse. It's all contained in the warehouse, not in the store. So I guess we probably had 30 or 40 people working in the warehouse. We've accounted for all of them, and they're all out.
All right. And what is the situation right now, as best as you can determine what's happening right now?
The fire department is getting this situation under control. It's kind of chaotic back there, and I haven't been back there. We're letting the authorities handle it as well they should.
Okay, Mattress Mac, thank you very much for the information and the update, sir, and we'll see if we can get a further update later on in this broadcast. Thank you very much.
We certainly wish you the very best. We know that's a hard situation to deal with.
And more now on that breaking news from North Houston. There is a two-alarm fire at Houston's Gallery Furniture's main office off I-45 North. We just spoke to owner Jim McIngvale just a few minutes ago. He tells Fox 26 News that the fire is confined to the warehouse area and that there are no reports of injuries so far. We have a news crew on the way, and we'll bring you more information just as soon as we get it. Now on that breaking news out of North Houston, Gallery Furniture under fire today, and just a few minutes ago the fire department announced that this has now gone to 3 alarms. That means a lot more firefighters are having to respond to this fire. And earlier we spoke to the owner of Gallery Furniture, Jim McIngvale, and he told us about 10 minutes ago that there were no reports of injuries.
You can see the flames just leaping into the air. This is at 45 North and Tidwell, backing up traffic. Very dangerous situation there, but we're told no injuries. Firefighters are doing everything they can to get this huge fire under control in North Houston.
A major 3-alarm fire at Houston's Gallery Furniture tonight.
And you can see how bad traffic is backed up there. Our crew is in the middle of that traffic. We have our Sally McDonald on the phone with us right now. Sally, can you see the flames from where you are?
Yeah, Melissa and Mike, we sure can. In fact, we could see billowing smoke as soon as we hit downtown Houston, and then we started seeing the flames once we were a few miles out. And as you mentioned, this is causing a huge traffic backup and going in both directions on 45. From what we understand, the fire is not inside the store, but in the warehouse. That's according to owner Jim McIngvale, better known, of course, to all of us Houstonians as Mattress Mac. He said there were about 10 to 20 people inside the warehouse when the fire started. All have been accounted for. He says there have been no injuries reported so far. Of course, this store has been at this location for 28 years. Recently, Mattress Mac did open a new location on Post Oak, and we all know him as one of the most recognizable people in Houston. Of course, not only is he a businessman, but he's also involved in a lot of charities. So this is a very sad night tonight for Mattress Mac, all his employees, and really all of Houston, who have become so familiar with him and his commercials and all of his contributions to our city.
Sally, do you know, or did he happen to tell you how close this particular building is to other buildings, even the store? Are there other structures that could be at risk of catching on fire here?
It doesn't appear to be the case right now. I know that Gallery Furniture complex has is on a pretty big piece of land there. So I don't think that other buildings are threatened right now. But again, we haven't gotten up to the Gallery Furniture warehouse yet to really see what the situation looks like as far as how firefighters are attacking this fire and so forth.
All right, Sally. Well, thank you very much for that update. We can tell our viewers that firefighters did tell Fox 26 that right now they are in a defensive mood on this fire, and that means that it is so dangerous that they can't really attack it. They sort of have to put up a defensive perimeter and sort of try to contain it, but essentially let it burn itself out in the warehouse. You're looking at a live picture of a 3-alarm fire destroying the warehouse at Gallery Furniture tonight.
Take a look at those flames. It looks so bad out there. But we have our chief meteorologist, Dr. Jim Siebert, with us right now. What about winds? Right now, the fire department says they're in defensive mode. They can't really do anything about it. Is the wind helping or hurting here?
Well, right now, the wind is not necessarily hurting all of that much. And if you notice, if you look there where you can see the flames coming up, there is a bit of a breeze, so the smoke is coming off of the flames, but it's also going more straight up, just a little bit of a turn to it. So the winds are calm to about 5 miles an hour, so at least the wind at this point is not making it worse.
Well, that's very good to hear. An update now on our breaking news. A 3-alarm fire in North Houston. This is Gallery Furniture, their warehouse completely up in flames. The last we heard from Houston Fire Department is that they are what's called a defensive mode. They're doing everything they can to contain the fire, but it's so out of control, very difficult to fight at this point.
As best as we know, the fire has been contained to the warehouse at Gallery Furniture. Mattress Mac spoke to us earlier this evening, and he said at that point there had been no reports of injuries. There had been several of his employees in that warehouse, but they had all been accounted for. Fox 26's Sally McDonald is on nearing the scene. As soon as she gets here, she'll bring us a live update.
Now, this is TransStar video from 45 North at Tidwell, and you can tell this fire is really backing up traffic, especially northbound.
Chief Dowdy, what's the latest situation out there, sir?
We got a call out here at about 8:20. We're at Gallery Furniture here on the North Freeway. The storage area in the rear of the store, right behind the main showroom, is totally involved. We're working really hard to try to keep it out of the main showroom. Right now it's in their storage area. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of, with all the furniture, there's huge amounts of combustibles in there. The roof's down, the walls are kind of curling in. We're putting elevated streams on it because there's too much fire to even attack with hand lines. There are people inside the showroom area trying to keep it from coming back into that part. As far as we know, all the employees are out. We've got no reports of anybody missing. We've had no injuries. Nobody transported currently. It's at 4 alarms right now.
All right, Chief. Thank you very much. We appreciate now the warehouse fire at Gallery Furniture has now gone to 4 alarms.
Sally McDonald is there live on the scene. Sally, what do you see and what can you tell us?
Dozens, if not hundreds, of firefighters are now on the scene here at Gallery Furniture. Let me step out of the way so you can get an idea for yourself just how intense these flames are. What you're looking at is the back of the warehouse where the furniture is kept, and we have some new information for you from Jim McInvale, the owner of Gallery Furniture, better known as Mattress Mac. He said he had just left to go home for the night, and then he got a call to come back up here because there was an emergency at the store. He says that several employees were in the warehouse when they noticed that some flames, a small fire, had broken out near the generator in the back of the warehouse around some furniture. Those employees, he says, immediately called 911 and then tried to put out the fire by themselves with a fire extinguisher. They thought it was out when it flared back up, and then it became what they described as bigger than ever. Let me have my photographer Gil pan over here just a little bit, and you can see the crowds of people that have lined up. The residents who are here in this neighborhood, they've lined up to take pictures and just look at this fire. It's certainly a Houston institution here. Gallery Furniture, been around at this location for 28 years. Mattress Mac recently opened a new location over off of Post Oak, but the smoke from this fire can be seen from as far away as downtown. The flames can be seen as soon as you get within just a few miles of this location. Melissa and Mike, back to you.
Donald is on the scene right now. She brought us an update just minutes ago. We also want to let you know that we'll have the very latest on this fire on Fox Morning News from 5 to 9 a.m. and as well on our website.
MyFoxHouston.com will have constant updates. Now, one thing that Mattress Mac did tell us that there were employees in that warehouse when this fire broke out. From what those employees could tell, it happened and started near a generator. That generator was near furniture. All the furniture ignited very quickly, and firefighters just unable to get it under control at this point. 4-alarm fire. Sally said possibly hundreds of firefighters out there doing their very best best to keep this contained so that it does not spread to that store or any other buildings in that area.
And, of course, the secondary effect, of course, is that traffic on I-45 North both ways is now backed up something terribly. So if you have family that is out in that area, you might want to let them know on a cell phone that they need to stay away because firefighters are extremely busy battling a 4-alarm fire, warehouse fire at Gallery Furniture. And that's going to do it for Fox 26 News right now. But once again, we'll have the updates on the story.